It has many facilities, such as this 650-seater auditorium, offices, 300 multi-level car park spaces, and an additional 200 within the premises. In the same vein, this beautiful facility has a creche for nursing mothers, industrial kitchen, a gymnasium, and other sporting facilities for squash, table tennis, swimming pool, and sewage treatment plant. There are also 6 lifts, a central air conditioning system, fire alarm and detection system, firefighting system. The NCC has also facilitated the establishment of the Emergency Communication Center across the country. When this government came into power, there were about only 4 of them. Now we have 18 of them. This Today, as Mr. President launches the National Broadband Plan 2020-2025, it is important to mention that at the time this government came into power in 2015, broadband penetration was only 6%. It was hovering between 4 and 6%. This is contained in the expired National Broadband Plan for the years 2013 to 2018. Broadband penetration has now reached 38.5%.
I'm sorry, please. During our meeting with the protocol, I directed all the parastatal we should stick by the time and we should stick by the responsibility given to us. EVC, you are to make welcome address. DG will explain the emergency center and I will highlight the activity. Okay. So stick to the welcome address and it's only 5 minutes and now it's 8 minutes. So we should stick to that because when there is any challenge, it will begin and end on my table. And I know the protocol, so please just welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Minister. Your Excellency, Mr. President, Honorable Ministers, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Executive Vice Chairman, Nigerian Communications Commission. His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to invite to the podium the Director General of the National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA, Mr. Kashif Inuwa Abdullahi, a Cisco certified internet work expert, the first I hear in public service in Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together as he comes forward to give a presentation.
Our father, our leader, the mentor of my mentor, the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, my mentor and my boss, the Honorable Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Dr. Isa Ibrahim Pantami, the representative of the Senate President, Senator Ibrahim Muhammad Bomai, the representative of the Speaker, House of Representatives, Honorable Nkiruka Onyejocha, the Honorable Minister of the FCT, Malam Muhammad Bello, the Chairman Broadband Committee, the EVC, NCC, the PAMSEC, Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy, other Honorable Ministers here present, CEOs here present, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, may peace, mercy, and blessing be upon you all, and good morning. On 23rd October 2019, Nigeria joined the League of Digital Nations, and it was placed on global digital economy map because of one action. Can you remember what happened that day? Baba renamed our and designated it to Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy. One month later, on the 28th of November 2019, at the E-Nigeria Conference and Exhibition, Baba went further and unveiled National Digital Economy Strategy and Policy. And he directed our minister, the Honorable Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, to execute the strategy. The ministry and its parastatals, under the leadership of the Honorable Minister, swung into action. We came up with initiatives, programs, and projects in line with Baba's campaign promises to reform our economy, improve security, and uplift our citizens, millions of our citizens, out of poverty. Our initiatives are creating decent jobs. Okay. Our initiatives are creating decent jobs. And today, Baba is here to launch some of our initiatives that are creating jobs. One of it is Abuja Emergency Call Center. Baba is here at the Communications and Digital Complex. With your permission, Your Excellency, sir, I want to take you into a virtual tour to the Abuja Emergency Communications Center. Control, please, can you connect us to Abuja ECC? Control. Okay, before they connect us, this center was conceptualized, designed, and executed to provide spontaneous access to emergency and response agencies such as police, fire service, federal road safety, and we are working on bringing National Center for Disease Control on board so that you can call them and get information on COVID-19. Okay, because of the power of technology, you don't need to be there physically. You can have the look and feel of the Abuja Emergency Call Center. The center is designed to create jobs in addition to response and guarantee to safety. We are creating, our target is to create about 1,480 jobs. We have created 760 so far, 40 jobs per center per state and FCT. So Baba is going to commission the toll-free shortcut number 112. Therefore, I urge you to take the message to your people. Let them call the number for any emergency and distress situation. I assure you, the government response agencies will be connected seamlessly and respond quickly. Thank you very much. And on behalf of my mentor, I want to thank Your Excellency for unwavering support over years. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kashif Inwa Abdullahi, Director General of NIDA. Ladies and gentlemen, today is a rigidly timed event. There is nothing I am going to say here that you do not already know. So, standing on the strength of my mentor and my boss, I would like to proudly and respectfully call on the Honorable Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Dr. Isa Ali Ibrahim Pantami, Fellow Nigeria Computer Society, Fellow British Computer Society, Fellow Institute of Information Management, and member Computer Professionals Registration Council of Nigeria to come and excellently, as usual, give us the highlights of the event and his special remarks. My boss and my mentor, Honorable Minister Sir, please can you join me in welcoming?
My boss and our boss, His Excellency President Muhammad Buhari, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the representative of President of the Senate, the representative of Speaker House of Representatives, all other members of the National Assembly here present, both Senate and the House of Reps, as I can see many of them, and because of time constraint, please permit me to proceed. Members of the Federal Executive Council here present, however, I discovered that some of my colleagues were not recognized by the facilitator, so I will not repeat those who have been recognized. I will only mention those that have been skipped. I can recall that Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment is here with us, and State Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment is also here with us. Minister of Interior is also here with us, in addition to other ministers that have been recognized by the facilitator. Other chairmen of federal government institutions here present, CEOs here present, most importantly, my respected brother, DG of Nigerian National Intelligence Agency, Ambassador Ahmad Rufai. All other protocols duly and respectfully observed. Good morning, and may peace, mercy, and blessings be upon you. I always consider it as an organized that he graces the occasion personally. It is indeed a great honor, and we always appreciate and cherish it. As we converge here today, we are to commission, launch, unveil, or flag off 4 activities. Firstly, beginning with our Nigerian National Broadband Plan. I resumed office on 21st August 2019, and I discovered that Nigeria had no any valid broadband plan in place. The previous one we had expired in 2018. So throughout 2018 and early 2019, there wasn't any plan. Under the directives of my boss, Mr. President, we constituted a committee chaired by Funke Opeke and deputized by Dr. Gwandu, and we assembled a team of 30 experts to develop our new broadband plan for 2020 to 2025. The committee worked tirelessly and came up with a Nigerian National Broadband Plan 2020-2025 with the intention of a broadband penetration of around 90% and download rates of 25 MB per second in urban cities and 10 MB per second in rural areas. Broadband is key to our economy. As we all know, the agenda of our boss centers around 3 things. Firstly, security. Secondly, economic development. And thirdly, fighting corruption. Broadband penetration is key to our economy. According to the World Bank, according to World Economic Forum, Oxford Economists, that 10% broadband penetration in any country will improve the gross domestic product by a minimum of 2.6 up to 3.8. In the US, broadband penetration increase resulted in improving their GDP by up to 6.9%. Furthermore, with this, 5.6 million new jobs were created. So broadband penetration is key to the economy of each and every nation. Today, with the new pandemic of coronavirus, you will discover in many developed nations, contact face-to-face is not allowed. People live in isolation. In this situation, they only rely on broadband penetration to communicate. Broadband penetration, online courses for students in universities. All the universities in the UK have been shut down, and many other nations. Only courses being conducted online. Security institutions work online. At home, you go online, you purchase something, and home delivery. So this is to tell us that at the time that other sectors are in trouble because of coronavirus, digital sector comes on board to provide an alternative for all of us. That is what we are leveraging. And secondly, so because of this, Mr. President has approved and also mandated us to present the National Broadband Plan to the federal and public institutions for implementation. So this is the first project that we are here to launch and unveil under the leadership of Mr. President. And secondly, is EVC has stated part of my work to explain about this center. So this has been done, so I don't need to go back into it. Number 3, with regards to Emergency Communication Center, DG NIDA has also explained that superficially, and I think I don't need to go back into that because of time constraint. And finally is what we call Digital Nigeria. Our boss, Mr. President, has clearly stated on 12 June 2019 that he directed all of us to work day in, day out and come up with policies and strategies that will lift at least 100 million Nigerians out of poverty in 10 years. This is a huge commitment, and we must ensure that we work day in, day out to be able to lift even more than that out of poverty. It is because of this, at the Federal Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy, when we were directed to develop our National Digital Economy Policy and Strategy for a Digital Nigeria, we included what we call skills for jobs. Our plan is to ensure we provide skills to young Nigerians that will be able to be, instead of being job seekers, they will be job providers. Through ICT, you will be able to empower them to create many more jobs. It is because of this that we introduce what we call Digital Nigeria, which is another training for skills that is going to be flagged up by our boss, Mr. President, today. And our intention after Abuja's event, we will move from one state to another where we identify our brilliant youth in each and every state, we train them, and we try to support them to be job providers, potential job employers rather than potential job employees. So it is because of this we have packaged the program. There is basic, there is intermediate and advanced. As part of it, there is training for women, training for children, catch them young, training for youth, training for civil servants, training for unemployed graduates, and even training for people with disabilities. So we are going to train each and every category, and we will give them that mandate to ensure that they create many more jobs. Through only outsourcing, if we are to go out, we will discover one outsourcing global is for a lady. Through only outsourcing, she employed over 900 Nigerians today. And they are all working and they are being paid. They live in Nigeria, they work in Nigeria, but most of the services they provided are for the people in the US. So look at how ICT is today. You live here, but the companies you are supporting and providing services are in the US. So that is why our plan under Digital Nigeria is to ensure that we provide training for our youth, and they will be potential job employers rather than potential job employees. And this is a good strategy that will pull out millions of Nigerians out of poverty. This happened in so many nations, like in China, from 1999 to 2015. They came up with similar strategy where they pulled out 494 million citizens out of poverty. Not only poverty, extreme poverty. It also happened in India from 2004 to 2011. They pulled out 191 million citizens out of poverty. The same in Indonesia. They started in 2009 to 16. they pull out 64 million citizens out of poverty. So if other nations can do, why not Nigeria? I believe with the support of our boss that we have been receiving, this is a program that we are going to ensure we implement it wholeheartedly to pull out significant number of millions of our citizens out of poverty. So we are here today for these 4 events, and I do hope that we will enjoy the session. Finally, we thank our boss for honoring our invitation and create time out of no time to be here. And I also use the opportunity to recognize U.S. Ambassador to Nigeria. I just saw her while concluding. You are very much welcome. So thank you very much. Sorry, British Ambassador to Nigeria.
Ladies and gentlemen, when the digital minister speaks, there is nothing to add, except, of course, to do the honors, because I have the rare privilege, the very rare privilege. Yes, sir. To respectfully and proudly call on the special guest of honor, the Grand Master of a Digital Nigeria, His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, GCFR, to give us his welcome remarks. Please, ladies and gentlemen, may we rise and welcome the President.
Yeah, please sit down. Thank you. Members of the National Assembly present here, Minister of Communications and Digital Economy and other ministers present, members of the Diplomatic Corps, senior government official representatives of the service chiefs, and Inspector General of Police, members of staff, Federal Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I am delighted to commission a number of projects today, all of which will embrace the development of our national digital economy and support our efforts at diversifying the economy. The dwindling price of crude oil has adversely affected our budgetary projections and has increased our sense of urgency with regard to the diversification of the economy. The digital economy will also support us in fighting corruption through digitalization and enabling government digital services. Digital technologies have become a useful platform for economic diversification. Having recognized the benefits of these technologies, we have decided to adopt the digital economy paradigm early. This informed our decision to expand the schedule of the Federal Ministry of Communication to include the digital economy mandate in line with global best practices. The ministry has since developed the National Digital Economy Policy and Strategy for the realization of Digital Nigeria, which we unveiled last year. We are also aware that mechanisms have been put in place for its implementation. The development of the National Broadband Plan is in line with the objective of the federal government to provide broadband for Nigerians. The plan is also expected to support our objective of deploying 4G across the country. The federal government is aware of the challenges that the operators face, including challenges of vandalization of telecommunications equipment. We are committed to ensuring that all stakeholders have a conducive environment to ensure the successful implementation of the broadband plan. I have directed the Honorable Minister of Communication and Digital Economy to work with all relevant government agencies to ensure that our critical national infrastructure are protected. I therefore urge the mobile network operators to ensure full attainment of the targets set in the plan and to also give special attention to unserved and underserved areas while deploying their services. The commissioning agent of the Emergency Communication Center and the toll-free number 112 further demonstrate our resolve to keep Nigerians safe. We have taken advantage of digital technologies to ensure that Nigerians in distress are only a dial away from the relevant emergency response institutions in the country. This will go a long way in supporting our efforts to improve the security of lives and property. The Digital Nigeria program is one of federal government's key initiatives that will empower innovators and entrepreneurs with skills required to thrive in our emerging digital economy. It is part of our efforts to ensure that our youth, women, unemployed graduates, and people living with disabilities either become
At the age of 19, I owned a 27 bedrooms house in Mushin. I've only had standard for education, and I've never worked for anybody really in my life except for 1 week.
NTA, you can't beat the rich.
Of synergy that has been created among the parastatals under its supervision. I hereby commission and unveil these programs and look forward to the commitment of all stakeholders towards ensuring the full implementation of the broadband plan and successful execution of the other programs. Thank you, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, President Muhammadu Buhari. It is my pleasure to respectfully and kindly invite you to come forward to commission the Emergency Communication Center.
I think you can please sit down.
Digital economy strategically dominating the world economies, and Nigeria cannot promote and develop it without broadband in place. That explains why the Minister of Communications communications and digital economy has on several occasions pointed out that
emergency helpline. Please what's the emergency?
Yeah, this is President Muhammad Buhari.
Your Excellency, sir. Your control to emergency helpline. Mr. President, do you have an emergency?
No emergency. I have commissioned the national emergency toll-free number 112 and the Emergency Communication Center, Abuja, Federal Capital Territory, to the people of the Nigerian, to the service of the Nigerian people. Thank you very much.
With your permission. So, with the commissioning, when you have any emergency in Abuja, what you need to do is to dial 112. If you reach out to them, they will link you up with other police, fire service, civil defense, hospital ambulance, and many more. With this coronavirus, we are working on how to link you up with medical team to intervene. So from now, we can continue to enjoy the number. And at the same time, since the president has commissioned this one in Abuja, we will travel to other states one by one to ensure that they are all activated in other states. And the number is free. Nothing will be deducted from your account. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yes, congratulations. Thank you very much. Thank you.
The launching of the Emergency Communication Center and toll-free number is quickly followed by the launching and unveiling of the National Broadband Plan 2020, digital innovation and entrepreneurship training. Is quickly followed by the flag off of the digital innovation and entrepreneurship training, and the launching and unveiling of the National Broadband Plan 2020 to 2025. He has done this, he's doing this. What's the next thing?
Group photos. After this one, you call the people that you say you not landed up. The honorable minister there. Has he given you
Which one will?
everybody on the handset?
Everybody will hold a copy. Please, immediately after the launching and unveiling of the National Broadband Plan, which is going on, I would like to respectfully ask that immediately after this first picture, all ministers, federal and states in the House present should please join in the group photograph. Ministers present, the CEOs of parastatals under the Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy.
So invite them to come up now.
Okay, please, can all ministers in the House join in the group photograph? CEOs of parastatals and agencies under the Federal Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy. No, this by Zubanesa. It's a commission in complex thing. When does that our
outside so by
yes, sir. No, by number. Wannan na waje ne ai.
Da su jona. Ba waje. Da su jona nan gidan. Okay. This is for the president. Okay. Takardunki sun faɗi.
CEOs of parastatals under the Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy, please, can you kindly join in the group photograph with His Excellency? I would like to respectfully ask that all distinguished guests remain seated while the president takes a tour of the facility, accompanied by the chief host and chief convener and other ministers. As the president is getting ready to go toward the facility, permit me to kindly recognize the presence of the State Minister for FCT, Dr. Ramotu Tijani Aliu. Please, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, may we remain seated. Only the ministers, the CEOs,